Today's tumbler stems from inspiration from this sweatshirt that I got from Taylor at Taylor to You Creations. I bought this sweatshirt last year and just absolutely loved her design and knew I wanted to make a tumbler using this as inspiration. I knew I wanted to make a Halloween tumbler, but don't come at me too hard in the comments. Halloween isn't my favorite. So I just wanted to make a subtle, cute, but also spooky tumbler theme that stemmed from this sweatshirt. I stuck with the varsity letter style. I added a little bit of extra texture and vinyl and all sorts of fun things that I'm going to show you how to do in this video. If coming up with new tumbler ideas, where to get inspiration, or you get nervous about how to mix and match colors and textures and patterns, I'm hosting a 4-day tumbler design challenge that I will link underneath this video, which is 4 days of live trainings to help you learn the best practices in designing tumblers that are unique to your style, as well as organizing all of your ideas so you can take action. Today's video has several different elements. I'm gonna show you how to knock out your vinyl, and I'm gonna show you how to do the power wash and all of the different techniques I used on this tumbler. If you're ready to get started, hit that like button and I will walk you through each of the steps. I am using the grand finale to apply my glitter, so make sure you shake it up really well to get it well mixed before you use it. I did prep and base coat my tumbler with universal gray, and I'm using this Opal Glass glitter from Glitter Dip Sips. I will put a link and a discount code underneath this video. To apply my glitter, I am brushing on my grand finale, and I'm just going to sprinkle on my glitter. So this glitter is more of like a medium cut. It's not fine, but it's not fully chunky, but because it is a little bit thicker than traditional glitter, traditional fine glitter, I took my finger and I did tap it down right away just to make sure it was nice and flat. This will help you cut down on your total number of coats it takes to get a smooth surface. Because the goal here, before we get into any of our designs, is to get a smooth surface. So I dry brush my glitter, seal with glitter glue, let that dry for 2 hours. I do always apply my glitter glue on my turner so it doesn't drip everywhere and I get a nice flat finish. And then you can flatten your glitter in your parchment paper. This just helps you get as flat of glitter as possible, which will cut down on the total number of coats that you need for a tumbler. Then I'm going to go through the process of getting a smooth surface. I have a tutorial that goes through this process a little bit slower, step by step, that I will link in the top right corner and underneath this video. I'm brushing on my grand finale, and I'm going to do about 3 or 4 coats. I think I did 4 coats on this tumbler because it is a little bit thicker of a cut of glitter, but 3 or 4 coats, and then you're going to go in with your 400 grit sandpaper. Remember, it is important to sand during this process, and you can sand and then wipe the dust off your tumbler. You don't want to get any of that in your next coat of your finish, so you can either clean with the surface conditioner or with a damp paper towel. And then you're going to go in with more coats of grand finale. And you're just going to repeat this process, doing a few coats of grand finale and sand every 3 coats until you get a smooth surface. The number of coats really depends on your skill level and how well you get your glitter flat. So let's talk about how I made this spooky decal. I'm using Silhouette Studio, and I'm using a college font that I will link underneath this video. I used a combination of an offset, just a small offset, and I pressed apply, and I moved my original design out of the way. And then I moved the bigger design out of the way, excuse me. And then I took the original design and did an internal offset to go the opposite direction. And then I took my 2 offsets, the big offset and the little offset, and I aligned them in the center in the middle. And then you can highlight them all, press subtract all, and move away that original design. And then when you color it, you can see you're left with that knockout. So the idea is that you have 2 offsets. The original offset, that bigger offset, is what you're going to cut in removable vinyl and put on your tumbler. Make sure you do 2 coats of clear spray paint before you start the power wash. I do also have a full power wash tutorial that I will link, but you go in with your power wash, go in with your spray paint, and then just rinse it off with a light rinse from your hose, or you can dip it in a bucket. And then you can take off your removable vinyl after it dries for a little bit. I do let it dry for a couple hours before I do this, and then you want to make sure that once you remove your vinyl, you let it dry for 48 hours before you go in with your grand finale. You really want to do 3 coats of grand finale before you add any decals. And I'll tell you why. The spray paint can be pulled up with your transfer tape. Trust me, I did that. And you want to make sure that you let your top coat also dry for several hours before you apply any vinyl. So I generally do a few coats, wait overnight, and then apply my decals. So then I cut out that second decal that we made right after we did our subtracting, or I think it's called slicing in Cricut Design Space. And I'm going to weed that vinyl so you can see you're just left with the outline of those letters. This is the rainbow reflective vinyl from Craft Haven. I will link it underneath this video and a discount code as well. I'm using transfer tape from Craft Haven as well. I'm obsessed with this vinyl. I've used it on so many tumblers lately. So you'll see across my channel that this vinyl keeps popping up. But I then just add it over the letters just so they, can pop a little bit. You could totally leave them, or you could do a completely different color. But like I said in the beginning, I was going with a subtle spooky. So I cut out these cute ghosts I got from Etsy, and I was also inspired again by Taylor to Creation. She has these cute mugs with these little like fabric ghosts, and they're so cute. These ones aren't as cute as hers, but they're still pretty cute. So I just used my transfer tape and put them on randomly, and I cut out some stars in some reflective vinyl from Craft Haven as well, and it is more of like a blue, but again, it's just a subtle way to have a spooky tumbler. And then I'm going to finish up this tumbler by doing 3 coats of grand finale, and then I'm going to sand over my decals and do 3 or so more coats after that. You just want to keep going until you're happy with the finish. There's no set number, there's no set rule, but I love the combination of this Opal Glass glitter, the black, and the subtle vinyl decals on this tumbler. If you want a more step-by-step broken down tutorial on applying glitter and getting it smooth with grand finale, watch this video on your screen.